Well, wait, hang on, I gotta plug in.
Testing, testing. Hello, universe. Sorry I'm late. But I'm not really late. We didn't have a time arranged when we would meet, although I'm sure, universe, you probably already knew what time this was going to get fired up, so you've never been late. You've never been early or late. You've always arrived right on time. Which is, I suppose, why I'm probably... Yeah, I do always think I can arrive right on time. Huh. Obviously, my battle with trying to maintain a schedule that all the rest of you find no problem maintaining continues. Thus, welcome to my third volume of It's All My Fault, meaning the structural reality and universe we find ourselves saying WTF in so much these days. Well, I finally came around to the realization that I do believe it is at least mostly my fault. And while I will not be as topically centered on that concept in this volume, because I have too much actual stuff to do, I still will, of course, pontificate away and come up with the conclusive evidence that says, oh yeah, I guess it is your fault. Why'd you do it, man? Well, good question. I didn't know I had, number one, this kind of impact. I was a self-centered, disregarding, misled idiot who had no idea that all those things were not just fair, they were primary categories with way more points dedicated for my $45 fee than I knew about. This was the, Illuminati playing games with me, or the CIA tricking me, or I don't know. But whatever it was, when I came to understand the level of dumb doofusy, that is me attempting to be less vulgar, by the way. When you find yourself to be so vulgar, you have to make up words like doofusy. Well, I don't know. The world is done with your silliness, and frankly, rightly so. I even found myself done with my silliness. I'm done with my silliness sometimes, like right now. No, I'm not. I'm not. That was a lie. I am aware, though, that I have a silliness border that a lot of people think shouldn't even exist, but it will never not exist for me, and I do only get silly because I have a hard time being oh so serious. Why so serious? Well, if I am serious all the time, I will go crazy. And I have a little bit of experience in going crazy. I have never spoken about being diagnosed as having narcissism as the basis of my narcissistic personality disorder. Or I went in wanting to be a psychopath. They told me I was a sociopath. I don't know. This is all silly. Man telling man why he's a different man than the other man. I don't know that there's any legitimate science behind it, but there are patterns of behavior that I couldn't deny I was repeating that were, at best, obstacles in my life, a rhythm of trying to do something worthwhile, and at worst, the reason I couldn't find purpose, meaning, or anything of value to plant a flag and say, well, I got this. So, when I finally got this, I thought, no, I don't even know where this came from. It was like being in 2001 and all of a sudden there's this obelisk in my bedroom. Holy smoke. Did I do that? Well, I don't know. Maybe I did. But I don't think I did. Come on. I can't even clean all the dog poop up. So I do not think I am randomly manifesting magical obelisks of here's how life can be fulfilling. So who did it? Who switched me from a miserable, sad sack, so sorry and pitiful and convinced that it was all his fault that he locked himself in a bedroom and said, I don't even want to come out. I have nothing to contribute other than pain, so I will sit in here and act like somebody should bring me a Band-Aid. Yep. And nobody did, because who would want to bring that person a Band-Aid? Just let them go, or just roll them closer to the cliff and then see if they roll the wrong direction. Can we speed this up? Yeah. And it just wouldn't click enough to convince me to give up. I mean, that's not true. It wouldn't click enough to convince me to take the ultimate step and remove myself from the equation. I didn't have it. I thought about it, I obsessed about it. But I think I only obsessed about it because I couldn't answer the question as to how I could so analytically have come to the end of this equation and double-checked my calculations in every known route of reinvestigation to go, oh, the math works. It turns out you are the Antichrist. Or whatever. Just a miserable, can't get out of his own way, thinks it's all just an unfair circumstance that he had no influence over being better in, and thus you're a cowardly, choking quitter. Yeah, I guess that was pretty fair, I would say. That was pretty much it, really. And so, with all that going for me, yeah, I turned for whatever sense of broken mind comparison I could indulge by befriending, and strong word, but I say I have no friends, but that would be unfair. Lily is my friend. She would be upset with me to describe it as anything else. So I do have one friend, but she's a delusional schizophrenic who does not take her medication regularly and finds herself frequently combating the demons that put her in a position of life that all I can say is that shouldn't happen. Nobody deserves that. Nobody. I don't care if she's some trapped angel or demon in the netherworld of 3D reality manifesting the delusions of a spiritual realm that she's in contact with, but nobody else. She still doesn't deserve that. It is too much of a disconnect on this planet to be going through what she goes through, unless she's limited by pharmaceutical intervention. Now, I'm not saying that's wrong, because in that state of mind, she is a completely different person. But what she is capable of doing things like making the lists, getting to the places on time, doing the things that need to be done so that she can stabilize and pay taxes. Without medical intervention of the pharmaceutical nature, I've never seen her capable of doing any of that stuff. So that's the line that gets drawn and crossed back and forth depending on the state of mind she's willing to commit to at any given day. But you see, that was what finally clicked. That basically everything that Lily was going through, she was going through because some force of existence had forced this to force her life into a place of constant force against. And may the force be with you. And Johnny, while suffering many of the same predicament variations, though of the milder version, believe me, well, he had to look at it and say, yeah, my life and your life are too similar for me not to say, why am I making my life so hard? Why am I doing this to myself? Why is she doing this to herself? Well, it looks like because herself cannot do anything about it. So myself thought, well, am I really going to let down even the delusional schizophrenic? Is that really what I'm going to do? Show her that even with the clarity of mind that now exists for me to see a world of swirling influence and variable interaction that is all misaligned, and I'm just going to sit over here and play Ticket to Ride online? That's how this is going to shake down? Well, no. For once, I realized what I'd been waiting for my whole life was here. I don't know why. I have no idea. The Mandela effect and all that stuff definitely was the wake-up call that brought me to a place that said, get back in the game. Yeah. I realized for once in my life that I did not get the choice to just sit out and decide I could fake an injury and wait until the injury turned into my casket being filled up with regret of never believing in myself. So, as I go into Volume 3 here, I do know now that the most important part of what I might be able to share is how my life got better, why it got better, the things I have maintained in this turnaround with ease, why they've been easy to maintain, and then a couple of lines I've drawn. I frankly have to live with. So the struggles that I create for myself now are the struggles that say this is the work that comes with being true to yourself, able to stand up for yourself, and proud of both of those commitments. But if I had ever in life believed I could utter that last 30 seconds of dialogue, no, I couldn't have even written it for another character with purpose and intent in a novel of my fantasy that was going to be the next best great, not Harry Potter, but something else. Oh. You know a book I need to reread? Note to Self, Zen and the Art. I need to reread that book. All right. And I do not need to reread Catcher in the Rye. Note to self. Let's work through being late to work again. Okay. So I was going to name this Get a Job. Actually have a whole little square 1500 by 1500 icon that I can put on my podcast picture so that it can say part 3 instead of part 2. It is now a different color because that helps me know which one is which, because it's a little tiny square sometimes. But point is, nothing here matters except to let you know that I guess I've felt late to work my whole life, and I have always been late to everything, but I've especially been late to work. I am the guy who calls in because I just can't get up and do my job today. Because I've always, at some level, fucking hated my job. Except Paperboy. I'd never missed a day. Well, of all the stories to not have told you during my childhood, how did I miss my Halloween Paperboy story? Damn it. All right, well, I got a good one to save for the future. All right, no way. Hadn't even, I mean, I went through an inventory trying to remember my best stories, and that is easily in the top 5. Crying on Halloween like I was, oh boy. You can imagine. Okay, for some other day, because today we're here to talk about work. And while that was work-related, because yes, I was doing my job, and I was sobbing tears of Halloween regret in a way that only a 10 or 9, no, I had to have been 10, 11, I might have been 11. Whatever, I was a crybaby. I still am. What I want to get addressed here is this will be a very productive volume for me to start getting my house in order. This is another thing that I think I need to work through documentation-wise. The false starts, the misdirected motivation, and frankly, the lack of simple day-to-day functioning systems like buying and dealing with food for one person, or having my house not have the back door open when I least expect it and it's 22 degrees outside, or not finding that I can't find my computer because I left it in a bag that I put in a closet that I forgot I even put the bag in there. I mean, I have such a stub my toe existence when it comes to my day-to-day get stuff around me in life done that I want to work through it and succeed on my own, but I'm not above admitting I'm not sure I don't need another person to say, okay, look, these are ways that you are just not effective. So if I get it all out on, if these 53 episodes, okay, why do I pick 53 episodes? First of all, if I do these 53 episodes with the focus of how am I productively moving my day-to-day nuts and bolts life forward? Because right now I need to, 1, get a job, B, save some money, C, we'll get to it. But I can't be in more of a, this stuff has to get organized, and it has to get organized yesterday, since you took yesterday off, and apparently you're going to take today off, because here we are at 6:30. What time is it? Sorry about the burp. That was terrible. 6:33. 6:33. Oh, cribbage. Now that we're here, obviously, the only thing I plan to do today, because I spent too much time, frankly, getting everything loaded on YouTube. This is a time-consuming process for one person to do who doesn't have the tools to do it, who keeps accidentally putting the wrong track on the wrong upload on the wrong, but whatever. It's not like I've not done these things before. It's just irritating to spend time redoing work that's clerical, systemic work because your systems are malfunctioning, inferior, in disrepair, never well conceived in the first place, simply not well thought through. Just, oh, well, where am I going to keep this kitchen thing? I'll put it right there. It'll just stay there forever, always in the way, and never thought about why the hell is that there? Because I put it there because I was lazy. I mean, those systems are these little lies I've told myself that, hey, you're too busy mentalizing the big stuff to worry about the dishes in the sink and whether or not you do them on a daily routine or whenever you have the motivation to actually do something about it. No, you know what? That leaves me at some point saying, oh, I don't want to eat because I got all those dishes I have to clean up. So you know what? No, I don't get the luxury of disregarding my life like some mad scientist who's on the verge of discovering the cold fusion solution. I am a guy who needs to go find a job, get the dog shit cleaned up in my yard, and fix the things in the house that are ridiculously still not fixed. I also need to clean up all the duplicate files I now have across 4 different computers. I need to address where is my list of plain stuff? Oh, I didn't bring that list. What do you know? One more time, I didn't bring the things that I want. That's not like me at all. I've never brought the wrong materials to a meeting. Me? What? But I will say I've never used that as an excuse to bring stuff to a meeting that I wasn't prepared for. I never just showed up like I accidentally had all the wrong stuff. And oh my God, this is so embarrassing. We'll just have to schedule for tomorrow because I needed the 24 hours, so here I'm baking it. Although I didn't think about it. because there were times when I knew in the next 45 minutes, if I don't come through with something unbelievable, well, I better show up with a bunch of stuff that doesn't relate at all and act like an idiot. I never had to actually take it that far, because I was always willing to just go into speed of light mode when it finally dawned on me, okay, stop fucking around. You really do have to get to work. And that's the truth. And I can see it in my house. I know it. My kitchen does not deserve 3 years of creative whiteboarding pause that turns into neglect, that turns into I can't find a fork. I will eat the spaghetti with a spoon. Not sure how, but I will do it. No, enough. And I have to start to... I'm going to mother myself right here. I have to start taking better care of myself. Simple as that. And I don't think I ever gave a shit to look at where I was being neglectful in my own personal daily routines that, like it or not, just like having good role models around you is a good influence, however you want to break it down. You can't help but get it. Having good systems in place, and especially those that you depend on in your direct, real life to get the work done that needs to get done so that you can free up all that mentalizing for whatever comic book philosophy you want to pretend you are so engrossed in, you've figured out the meaning of life. Well, then do the damn dishes. Then figure out the meaning of life. So that is the work I've been neglecting. I have been very indulgent in not neglecting myself. What do you know? But also the personal relationships around me. I have felt good about the time I've invested there. So that is work that needs to continue. It doesn't feel like work, but I'm addressing it as such so that I don't get out of the habit of making time for that because I think I have too much work to do. No, that is also important. So in that way, it is work because it needs to be on the whiteboard so it gets its time. I did find my 4 grades from last time, and I wanted to put down my thoughts as to where I'm at this time because why not? It's nice to have a track of how am I doing to refer over time. And I've never had these advantages, so I'm going to see what they're like to have. So indulging myself, my on-time grade during, see what happened was, I gave myself a B minus because I gave myself a C plus in the first 53, and that was a fair C plus, and that's a fair B minus because I made small improvements. I made small improvements in showing that I could do certain things to be early, as well as doing things to be sure I wasn't late. But I still was late too much. I was always pushing myself too much, so a B minus is absolutely... If there was a B minus minus, that's what this would be. It should probably be a C plus plus, but whatever. You can see how much I can be my own worst enemy. All right, be kind grade. All right, this one I can say is the only one that got an A. It went from a B in the first session to an A, and it went to an A specifically because of that day that when I was forced to be unkind, I did what I had to do, but I did everything I could to be kind. I believe that was there to test the fact that you do not need to be meeting other people's levels of frustration and aggravation. You can just be kind. Now, I do have to learn how to be kind and not walk away and say, too much negativity for me. The vibration in here is like getting stung by wasps. So bye-bye. That I need to work on. Which is why I gave myself a C, down from a B, in being understanding. I was more perplexed and uncertain and not understanding what the hell is going on around here in the last volume clearly than I was in the first. So that's always frustrating to lose understanding, but I have to be honest. Just like I have to be honest that I moved from a C to a C minus and might be forgiving. Now, this just means that in the moments when I had the best opportunity to be forgiving, I didn't see it, or I failed to fully engage it, or I just flat out said, no forgiveness today. Well, I didn't have that day, thankfully, but I had some places where I was too trying to be. I made too many things about me. Simple as that. And when I realized that, I saw that is the antithesis of being a forgiving person, is to be somebody who doesn't even notice that they're not even being available to forgive people who need to be forgiven. Nope, I'm too important. I'm over here eating cookies and wondering why you didn't bring me any root beer milk. You don't seem very nice. I don't even forgive you. No, you can't have a cookie. So yeah, C-. There you go. There's my grades. Listen, John, you have talked for 26 minutes as of right there. You're going to pause. You're going to get your last head clearing situation taken care of. You're going to come back here and finish this up with some productivity and no more wandering. All right, pause. Unpause. I'm coming back though. Pause. All right, unpause. All right, the talking might show me I need to take a drink of chocolate milk. Hang on, I'll be right back. Okay, unpause. All right. All right, that was a good break. I'm glad we all took one because that really got me back on point. Sorry for wandering, but you know how I get at the opening of these meetings? That's why I should put something on the first bullet point that says something other than, who has anything they want to say before we get going here? No, not you, John. Anybody else? Okay. Why do I consider work a four-letter word? Well, duh. Well, I do not want to imply that I am not a hard worker. I really am. As a matter of fact, I don't think I have been in situations where I wasn't at least giving as much effort as everybody else who was giving 110% effort. I always try to be the hardest working person in the environment in which I am working. And why do I do this? Well, for one, because, oh my God, do I ever have to people please. But more than that, being the one showing that I will always do the next thing was the one place I knew I couldn't be beaten. Effort is about how willing you are to say, sure, give it to me. But what it did beat me down with is that I would eventually allow myself to think I was being taken advantage of because I would put myself in a position where people would think they could count on me. So then I don't get to have that feeling of, well, yeah, you can count on me, except when I don't want you to give me another assignment because I'm already feeling like I got much. Well, all right, I'll do it. But yeah, maybe I'll be all lonely, tonight crying in my office. Is that what you want? I guess you do, because I guess I'll do it. Well, you know what? Listen, buddy. Have some limits. Be reasonable. And the reason I didn't have limits was because I knew that my potential the other direction, I've had it. I'm out of here. I will never be back, and you can keep my stapler. Well, that guy was coming sooner or later. So, you know what he did? He would say, sure, I'll do the meeting. I'll take the call. I'll be here at 6 a.m. Whatever. I got nothing better to do. So here I am, feeling like because I know sooner or later I'm going to leave you with the residue of, well, what was that all about? Does anybody even know it? I mean, seriously? You saw it coming? I mean, yeah, we all saw it coming a little bit, but is that what you saw coming? So, how much of that was because I was too dumb to say, wait a second, yeah, I mean, if we're going to have to be here at 6 a.m, we're drawing straws. That's a silly meeting to set up. I don't care who's in Tokyo. Well, that's why I live with such comfort and the stance I took to say, expect better. Now, what does the guy in a society where he has zero capital slash funding to pay even the basics of life, what kind of position is that guy in? That 7-Eleven sign say hiring? I think it does. Oh, no, it says hairnet required? For what? For customers? No way, that can't be. Well, I'm not going in there. I'm not wearing a hairnet. Yeah, it may be a job that requires a hairnet. Dick. Don't be so full of yourself that you don't pay for dog food, because that will work for dog food. I started thinking, like, okay, well, what clever little will work for blank title should I give this volume? That was not a good list. The one that came to mind that I was like, I guess in life I will always work for green fees. I mean, will you let me play Augusta? What work can I do to play Augusta? Okay, I've played it virtually, thank you, Tiger Woods, 2012. But no, I've never. I've been to Augusta. I've seen it. I've hugged the security guard and tried to fondle my way through. No, not fondle. I tried to finagle my way through. Those words are very similar, but very different. A lot like magic mirror on the wall. Wait a second. Magic? She didn't say mirror? Did she say magic mirror? Really? No, she didn't. Wait, rewind that. What? Okay. So yeah, I'll always work for green fees. That I believe is a truth. If you were going to say, what's that guy about? Well, he says he'll work for green fees, so I suppose he likes to be outdoors. I will always work for those in need. Yeah. So if I end up stocking shelves at Walmart, that is not really working for those in need, nor working for green fees. Okay, maybe a little bit, but not really. So instead, I think that would mean I need to start going to look for where there is someone in need and go work there instead. But the need right now, as I scratch her back, is the dog that's at my feet, because she needs to be eating. And since we are desperately low on the kind of money that lets that happen, well, we can't demand to work for those in need, but we can aspire to it. I will work for a level playing field where I see inequity. It's time to work for those who are being inequitied. Inequitied? No, it is time to work for everyone to get their fair chance at greatness. That's all I want. Did you get a fair chance at greatness? Why not? I did not mean for that to happen. So I am so sorry. I will totally change my ways. So if I find myself hindering the greatness of anybody, well, that seems to me like something I should investigate. I probably need to change. But I'm finding myself less and less in those positions. But I know half of what I told you in the last volume was to show you that I'm so capable of hindering others' greatness that I carry that guilt with me still. But that doesn't mean that I can't move forward and reconcile that by being great myself. Let's do it. Want to be great? Okay. I want equal opportunities for all of you. Yep. Terribly written, but I at least could read my own handwriting this time. The correction of injustice. Yes, I will fight to correct injustices. I'm basically saying the same thing. This is what I do not like. When I can't say something that's at least distinguishably different from the last one, I will fight for my dignity. Okay, that one qualifies. Yep, I've never had those intuitions because I've never had any dignity. So now that I have just even a flicker of it, it's like that flame in Quest for Fire. Do everything you can to make sure that doesn't get blown out. Yes, I will fight for my dignity. I will fight for clarity. I've always thought that the fog in my head was just the earned failure of an intellect too immature, too insignificant, too insistent, too impulsive, too insincere. all of the above. But now that I feel I'm thinking with the kind of clarity that I do not have distracted thoughts, I do not have waste of time moments, I do not have backtrack and figure out how I even got down this road in the first place distractions. I am on point with certainty. Another thing I will work for. I will work for certainty, I will work for clarity, because I will work for the truth. And in doing so, I am working to improve my life and your life while we exist together here on this planet. So, those jobs are aplenty. I will just go out and become Aquaman, but I can't swim, so I'll have to be... Who am I going to be? Well, in the world of comic lore, I'm sure that I'm whatever that heinous thing that was in Spawn, that ugly clown. What was that? I don't know. I could be Mr. Magoo. I could be Gilligan. Does he count as comic? No, I'm not so naively misplaced as Gilligan. No. I've always looked at comic book lore and thought, well, I'm much more the Green Goblin than I am the hacking in Doglin named Clifford the Big Red Dog. Maybe that... Okay, comic book lore. No, if I'm anything, I'm probably... Who is the character who just is ready to give up on themselves? Does that character exist? Someone in the Family Circus, maybe. Someone in there's got to have a suicidal impulse or two. But where are the comic books of no hope? They must exist. What? Some of that, like Transmetropolitan or whatever. I'm sure there's some despair in that stuff, but I've never sought it out because I always had plenty of it. Why was I going to go find Jiminy Christmas? Phoebe. All right, hold on. I got to see if my dog needs help here. That is not good. All right, outside we go. Notice how I came back and had the energy to achieve my goal for, 5 minutes before I got distracted and totally off point again. I am torn by the advantage that having a mind wander gives you and the disadvantage having a mind that can't stay on point creates. That little yin and yang, I still feel I'm finding my center. But for anybody who has never endured the cow path of a train wreck that is thinking things out with me in a pursuit of trying to understand something I do not get, well, don't listen. Do not participate. You shouldn't be here. If you have a question as to whether or not you're wasting your time, you are. Don't even think twice about it. Shut it off right now and go find something else to do with your life that's helping you figure out the balance that you are quarreling with. Not many people have to wonder between if their mind wanders too much or can't stay on point enough. That isn't a problem most people are sorting out. Me, I have the dumb luxury of no real obligations to anybody other than myself, so all of the time that I spend is a battle of deciding how much of that time will I be so self-indulgent and how much of that time will I be just slightly less self-indulgent. And those battles are what are left for people who have become so unsure of what it is to be good in a life full of uncertainty that they feel like they lost. Well, that, more than anything, is the kind of work I didn't expect to be doing to straighten out those misaligned concepts that I was taught to think by forces around me that I know some ways didn't think they were teaching me that, but in other ways they knew they were. And for those who knew they were, you know what? I'm not saying I can't forgive you, but it took a long time to understand. And if you aren't going to be kind about all this, well, do I wonder what that will mean? Because at some point, if you find yourself that the work you have done has put you in a place where you just think, if I ignore that part of what I do, who I am, and how I get through the world, well, then I'll be okay with everything else. I just can't pretend that that has any bearing on who I really am. Okay, I torture people, but I still love my kids and go to church. Well, I don't know. That doesn't seem like you're really working things out. To me, that seems like you have worked your way into a compromise regarding your humanity that lets you tolerate that which you know you gave away. Because that's where I was when I was making those kinds of excuses for the work I was doing. I was working on polishing a veneer that was acceptable to those around me, maintainable to this guy here, and protective of all the dismal ways I knew I really was, that I never, ever wanted anyone. They couldn't be exposed. It was so unreflective of the work I wanted to have been doing, the work I thought I should have been doing, and the work I think in a lot of other circumstances my particles would have decided to do a different slit. But no, they left me with the self-loathing and contaminated trains of thinking that just made me more and more of a problem in my own life. So, if you want to hear all about it, go listen to volumes 1 and 2. But I got to get back to the meeting notes here and explain to you what that means about all the work I still have to do. So, okay, what is work? It's effort, right? It's your putting your physical and mental capabilities into the function of this purpose to then achieve something. That's work. And then what's a job? Is a job work you do for another's benefit? Or they're the same? I don't know. I'm asking. And why is job the word Job? Come on, right? I've never had that thought in my life. Well, probably maybe in 7th grade when I learned who Job was, I thought, well, no, that's why they call them jobs. But I don't remember having that thought. So, does that not seem too stupid to be simulation? For me, it does. Anyway, having to have a job means that you will get my work, and everything else that I consider to need my effort will diminish, even the things that I care the most about. So, is that why I walked off the job? Because I care about this, and I knew I had to put it on footing where it was ready to then get onto the chapter where I was going to talk about how hard it is for me to fit in wherever I go, try to just be the guy who can work at Walmart. Yes, I do believe that is true, because I know it's important to me to never think that I am out of touch with who is struggling the most. I appreciate struggle. I appreciate people who are doing it one more time, even though it keeps getting harder. because that means you have hope. You hope something better can happen. Well, when I am around people who have that kind of hope, when I see them in miserable circumstances, plugging away hard every day, that's why I applaud the person who is the bus driver who does his job with the kind of confidence and excellence that is just clearly he's top 5%. Nobody notices, because how does he get noticed? What does he sing songs? Does he know everybody who gets on the bus's birthday and say happy birthday? I mean, you can't stand out as a bus driver except to be extremely confident. Except when you happen to notice how he times the lights, does the things at the stop to make sure that the people getting on the bus are in a position to get on the bus, or does the thing where that guy getting his bike off the bus has all the room that he needs. I mean, he's just attentive to the entire circumstance instead of just stopping the bus at the bus stop and then hitting the gas until he gets to a red light, which gets the job done. But the truly caring examples of people out there who notice whatever they can do to make sure that they're not hindering or, if possible, helping, enabling someone else to have a little better day. To not have to step in the mud puddle because he was smart enough to stop 6 feet forward. Wait, I'm here at the stop. Why are you all the way down there? Oh yeah, look at that. Thanks, man. Didn't have to step in that puddle. That is a good bus driver who needs to be told, thanks for all your work. I appreciate it. So I can find that rhythm at work. I need to not go overboard with doing extra work that I can see needs to be done, but hasn't been done in 4.5 years. Well, whatever. Leave it. Hasn't been done in 4.5 years. Open an Instagram account. What? No, absolutely not. Screw you, bro. Instagram. Is that like for drugs? No, it has nothing to do with those grams. All right, then I'm not interested. So instead, let's talk about why I should listen better. Do you have a list of things why I shouldn't? Because I think that would be a quicker route to discussing this. I do agree. I always say to myself, are you listening well when I'm talking to another person? I say it in my head. I am so conscious of being an overtalker, a too enthusiastic to listen to what you're saying person that my thoughts are so important you don't even get a chance to think of your own thoughts. I'm going to think them for you and then tell you what they are. Okay. That guy knows to STF you. Okay. So does that guy get told STF you enough? No. And I need to be better. And so I'm saying this to myself. Every time I start any new circumstance, the only thing that I need to do when I walk in the door is make sure I am being a good listener and communicating in a fashion that I don't overtalk. That's all I need to do. And don't tell them stories that other people will find uncomfortable. That will also help. But I didn't do that here. I'm not saying I committed that faux pas. I'm not saying I'm above committing that faux pas. I just have to remind myself that that is always something sticky that I don't want to explain why it's sticky. So you shouldn't have that question. Oh, yeah, okay. Yep, so when you have the question, am I, why do I find myself uncomfortable? I don't know if this goes the same way for everybody. So at work, all I've ever wanted to do is be in a place where I don't walk in and feel smothered, right? Or just there's oppression, or there's pressure. There's something about the, I don't know. And I know a lot of the people listening are saying, God, dude, you are lucky that you can hold a job for a week with how weak you are about just dealing with the stress of everyday life. Yeah, I actually do agree that I am a flower wilting in what could only be a warmer day. If it was warmer, then maybe I'd work harder. But see, I work hard under any circumstance in which there is work of some level of justification getting done. I do not slack. I do not show up. I do not even think, well, you know what? I don't want to dig ditches again today, but really that is what we need to do. So give me the damn shovel. Let's go dig more ditches. Whatever. What needs to get done gets done. And it gets done in the resignation of this has importance, and I have the knowledge that my contribution cannot waver. I will work till I bleed. I am a dog that way. But if we're digging ditches so that next week we can fill them back in, so that the week after that we can redig that ditch, so that the week after that we can refill that in, I will not want to bleed for that job. Okay, so you just won't work unless the circumstance is so perfect that you have nothing to complain about. No. No, I expect every job to be at least 60% fit good, 40% fit abrasive. And I deal with anything down to 40% fit good, 60% fit abrasive. You learn to manage those things at work on which you will compromise for a fluid and productive workplace. No problem. Has never been a problem. Will never be a problem. Because I will always work as hard as the hardest person working, and I am not there to make enemies or friends. I am there to be respectful. And I take pride in my work. So these are the things that I bring to every job. And it is my problem that I bring more than almost anybody else gives a shit to go through with. And I totally understand your point of view. In fact, why do I feel like I always am doing more than everybody else? Because sooner or later, I walk out the door with my middle finger in the air saying, fuck you all for taking advantage of me. And how is it that I'm being taken advantage of? Because I walk in the door saying, look at me, take advantage of me. And then I bitch about it when you do. So that is the cycle of silliness that needs to stop for me today. And these next 53 episodes of, all right, how's that job hunt going, mofo? Well, there you go. This is accountability as directly as I can force it into my life. Every day I have to say, what did you do today to make your life better when it came to getting a job? Well, today I'm going to apply at the Home Depot as soon as I'm done recording. For the second time in life, maybe they'll take a chance on me, since the only reason they fired me was that I was late. I believe I worked there for 2 years, so let's say that in 2 years I had 400 shifts. I was late to 374 of them. So I think at some point they say, all right, man, we know it's December 22nd, but you're fired. Seriously, what happened that you couldn't come to work on time? You were 7 minutes late like 104 times. You needed to check in 1 minute earlier, and none of those are registered. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's kind of funny, huh? I wondered how long you guys would let me hang on here, but I guess why not do it on Christmas Eve, right? Oh, wait, it's the 22nd. You could have waited 2 more days. I mean, at least the story would be better. So, maybe those guys will hire me back, because I actually liked working at the Home Depot. I know. I need to go somewhere that I won't be frictioned by the actual work I'm doing. I do not need to go and remove I do not need to go and clean baby diapers. As a man who never has really done it except as a babysitter, nope. I will do a lot of crappy jobs, but I won't do that one. All right, where are we? Nowhere on this sheet. I know that. I didn't say anywhere on here. Tell them you want to change diapers. Nope, doesn't say that. It says, yeah, I've been the hardest worker, and that is my problem. That is true. I gotta stop doing that. I said at one point that I need to get my shit life together. Okay, yeah. You can admit that you've got some shit life going on, right? My shit life is my kitchen organization. My shit life is my current, what am I doing with my workout equipment situation. My shit life is, I can't find the shoes I want to wear. My shit life has shittiness, but my life isn't a piece of shit when you look at it. I mean, when you look at it, it is, but not when I look at it. And I know that. So that doesn't mean that I don't have some shit to clean up. And frankly, that's why I'm not going to sit here talking about, well, but what do you put in the pile? I mean, which pile do you actually consider the shit you're working on versus the shit you're getting to versus the shit you should just ignore? No. It's time to get some shit done. Enough pontificating, right? Don't you agree? Yes, you do. Of course you do. My finish in algae, my finish in collage, my finish. I don't know. Paperboy? Okay. I don't know. Paperboy. Oh, yeah, Paperboy story. Right. I want to tell that one some other time. That's a good work story for Labor Day or whatever. All right. Here we go. When I'm working, this is what I want to be able to answer with some connection if I'm going to stay in a job. I want to know, what are we working toward? Are we serving a purpose, even if it's just service? If it's regular, getting people the chicken that they cook every night so that they can eat the chicken that they want to have for dinner. Okay, that's what we're doing here. Why are we doing it? Now, this is where I think a lot of people think I cross the line already. I think it's fair to ask, what are we doing here and to what end are we serving it, right? Why are we doing it? Well, now, buddy, this is work. You don't come in here and ask why we do it. We do it. Go stand on a soapbox. You can ask all the why questions you want, and you can become a breatharian. Exactly. So we don't ask why, because whys can lead to, but, does that mean this is the best? Okay. And so, I guess, what are we working toward, and how are we getting it done? That's as far as I go. But that doesn't mean that I still want to know, aren't we massively underselling ourselves, that we are compartmentalizing our existence for whatever demands work places on us. And maybe this is just, well, stop working for minimum wage and you won't feel like such an underachieving piece of, I should be doing more. That I agree with, and is fair criticism that I don't want to pretend couldn't be 99% of the equation. But that 1% that says the disrespect is real isn't wrong. Now, am I putting myself in situations of disrespect inherently by continually pushing a big wheel around instead of actually graduating to a bicycle like all of us other adults? I don't know. Maybe my big wheel is my problem. It is. But it doesn't mean that I'm not right, that we deserve respect, even in the workplace. It is not a place to be treated like cattle because there's some power structure that allows it. That is soul-sucking for everybody involved. And that is where I frankly will draw lines and say, no, I will instead become a breatharian until I say, oh, my soul is hungry. I better go back there and suck a little. Okay, since you brought up work, why ain't you working on being better with your methodologies to record? Yep. And what else? Is anything ever done? Okay. Or A+. Do you ever just never go back and do better on something you've already said you've completed? Saying I've completed any of the previous batch of recordings still sounds silly to me. It doesn't sound real. It sounds imposed. It sounds like I'm trying to meet the expectations of the modular Chapter 4, Chapter 5, Chapter 6 progression that I believe I myself am conditioned to put my creativity into that delivery model. I don't know. Maybe that is truly the effective organization of a productive quantification of related but distinct concepts so that there is some thematic value to what you're trying to do. I am not someone who had the wherewithal to understand how to whiteboard all that nuance out. No. What I have to do is say, I don't know. I don't know what to proceed with in terms of measured, established protocol that will produce a result that is both digestible and effective for the gains and wisdom I hope to reflect back into my own life. But I know if I just sit here with these disorganized notes that I get halfway through one sentence and say, oh, wait, you know what that makes me think of? And then I never even get back to the note because I look at it later and think, I already did that one. Yeah. It is literally a request for anybody who continues to think there's nuggets to mine in here of connection to know that you will be disoriented and upset with me for the way I am so not logically finishing every thought that I start. I hate it too. I hate it. So that is why I now am committing to bringing organized notes to every recording so I at least have that much that I will cover. Because too many of the first volume I got off the recording without even touching the subject on which I had pushed the red button to engage myself as content worthy of remembering. And then once I realized after listening, wait a second, that isn't even why I got on there. Wait, why did I get on there? Why did I go in the kitchen? Why did I get my phone? Wait, oh, that's not even the right phone. What phone am I recording on? So I knew that if I asked myself to come into everything with the sort of board of directors portfolio preparation that those meetings demand, well, I'm never going to show up. Never. I'm going to keep going. Oh man, that's going to take so much effort to even just sort of mock up like I care to do it. I just won't even do it. But to show up and just talk because I'm high and there's nobody in the house but the dog, so I might as well talk to myself. Well, that seemed like a bar that was low enough that I could probably not blame myself for not having enough effort to give it a shot. So I do that. And then I work to improve it, which is why I have this list of things that in these 53 recordings are goals of mine to get better. I needed 2 runs at it to see where I, frankly, had room for improvement. And I have room for improvement all over the place, just like I always find. But I am not disappointed in how it started, how it wandered into areas that even I didn't expect, and how it never wandered back from areas that I wish I'd have had less goofiness when encountering as I did. So I'll get back to those ideas someday, but not in a rush, not in a, oh my God, I have to tell you this, no, I don't. I have to continue trying to appreciate that the long-term effort here will be what's of true value, because I will not give up on the persistent narrative of taking small steps to make my life look significantly different 10 months from now. So what are small steps? The small steps are, you know what? I think you should bring some notes. Yes, I think I should. The small steps are, why do you keep banging your microphone, which you might even be doing in this recording, even though you tried to counteract it, to move that line? Why are you not more attentive to the that ruins your recordings? Good question. That is something I will work on. I will work on I will work on being less preachy. I will work on being less better than you. I will work on being less insecure. And I will work on being less, how cool is that? And I will work on being less indistinct when I try to give reasons for how I am feeling in the moment. I want more of that on record, which is why I am talking to myself when I say that. Because as much as I will work for answers, well, if I'm going to work for answers, I have to work for answers that I think are baseline truth. And I have to work for answers because I don't see where I can just go get them. I have so much more insight into my mind, body, spiritual experience than I've ever had, that I now want the clarity. I want to work for the certainty that comes with knowing that there is truth still to be had. Truth I was never in touch with because I had no access to this knowledge base of potential. And I don't know that I am alone there. Yes, all you going to church on Sunday people apparently did have something good to do. Hell, I was watching football, so who am I to talk? Well, I'm a happy, I am a directed, I am a confident, I am a purposeful, I am a, for once, content from within agent of this reality. Why did that correction do a 180? I do not know. So 10 months from now, it could be as simple as me saying, I do not know. But what I hope to gain as I work through my angst, remember, you should not be participating. You should be off working through your own angst. When I do that, it's in hope that someday I say, now I know why. Now I know what happened. Now I know how the shift occurred. That may be too much knowledge. I may not get that chance, but pursuing it will make my life have value. So that is my journey. I am not looking for the arc. If I do find it, I will not rate it. Would I? Yeah, I probably would. I'd at least see if... No, let's be honest. I mean, what is it, a nuclear reactor or some huge piece of uranium? Open that sucker. Last thing you do, face melting. Okay. I do daily recordings because that is the format that documents my lucidity, my silliness, my truth, my struggle, my angst, my disappointment, my euphoria, my life. So you do not have to do this. You do not even have to listen. But if you are, I do care about you. I do thank you so much for even thinking that this is something that you can endure. And I hope to make a better world. That's all I'm here to do. So as open as I am to helping others, I must stay open to that. I must look for opportunities to be kind. I always have to think, is there somebody around me that needs to be understood? Can I forgive anybody right now that is being taken for something in a situation that isn't really their fault? I forgive you. I forgive you ahead of time right now. And I forgive you for what happened yesterday that nobody forgave you for, that you deserved. Those are the expectations I have at all times. My behavior models are clear. I know what they are. I do not have doubt that I have figured out who I am and why I need to act the way I need to act. I have yet to be let down by that rhythm of life. Now, I don't pretend that will work for you, but you have to appreciate how much I had quit with how many skills I had in my favor in a paradigm full of advantage. How much more could I have effed it all up? Well, it was enough to use the real F word. Look at that. So where I can work to be better by not being so abrasive with my F-bombs, which I'm sure there are plenty of, even though I was reductive in a slight manner, that's okay. There's progress. There is the indicator that it matters, that I'm here to do better, and to do better for not just me, but those around me. Carry on with that attitude, and it won't feel like work. I always wondered, why wasn't I the guy that at least lucked into, yeah, well, but I love what I do, because here in America, loving what you do is the biggest lottery win of all. Because the rest of us, well, we give up our time, our energy, our desire, our motivation, our sanity. Because what choice do we have? Well, yeah, what choice do we have? So that's why I will be applying at the Home Depot. Wait, is it the Home Depot? Or is that the Mandela one? I don't even know. It was the Home Depot when I worked there, so THD. Yeah, you know me. No, I don't want your OPP. Okay. Is there anything else on this list that matters? I can't imagine there is. Because the last thing I will say is I do not find this mental journey to be work. I find it to be struggle. I find it to be discomfort. I find it to be shockingly revealing in ways that are moments of reckoning. But I never think of it as work. I always think of it as progress. So, what I want this next round of let's get out there and take care of ourselves and find some balance and peace and just maintaining the daily routine of eating and shelter and internet and hot water. Well, yeah, hot water. No, can't not have hot water. Well, yeah. I'm just pausing to make sure I'm not giving myself one more excuse as to why I can't move forward in a world full of places where I can either be the problem or shut my mouth. So this time, and I know this is hard to believe, but this time, well, John, shut your mouth.